on the corner of 25 West Main Street in downtown Vermilion. The spot, Winnie Mae's, is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The spot, Winnie Mae's, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
Coming up on Coyote News, we'll tell you why Vermilion's downtown locations are succeeding.
Plus, we've got an update on the Center for Diversity and Community. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Hello, I'm Lauren Solik.
And I'm Devin Martin.
Facebook recently launched a Messenger Kids app, and now child development experts and advocates are voicing their concerns. A letter sent to CEO Mark Zuckerberg yesterday argues that children under 13, who the app is aimed at, aren't ready to have social media accounts, online relationships, or know how to protect their privacy. The app's an extension of a parent's Facebook account, giving them control of who their kid talks to. Facebook officials have yet to comment. A train carrying a group of Republican members of Congress to a policy retreat crashed into a garbage truck in Virginia. The driver of the truck was killed on impact, and no passengers on the train were seriously injured. South Dakota Senator Mike Rounds was on the train during the crash. He posted a tweet saying he is okay. FBI Director Christopher Wray is calling for House Republicans to release a secret memo that claims to show how the Bureau and Justice Department misused their authorities and privileges to get a warrant to spy on a former Trump campaign advisor. The Bureau says that the FBI was provided a limited opportunity to review the memo the day before the committee voted to release it. Now let's take a look at weather with Carter Hofer.
Thanks, Lauren. Right now, it's 42 degrees outside. Tomorrow you can expect some sunshine, but with a high of only 18 and a low of 6, so be sure to bundle up. Friday will be partly sunny with some warmer temperatures, with a high of 35 and a low of 17. Looking toward the weekend, the temps will remain around the same, but there's a 50% chance of snow on Saturday, with an expected high of 24 and a low of 8. And that's your Coyote weather.
Last week, we brought you coverage of the Student Government Association's presidential candidates. Coyote News will continue to bring you coverage of the campaigns, including airing the SGA debate on February 22nd at 6 p.m. in the Freedom Forum, located in the Al Newharth Media Center. The debate will have prepared questions by the Cross Media Council and the Political Science League, along with opportunities for audience questions.
And rural communities throughout South Dakota have been seeing their small towns starting to shrink. But as Coyote News' Nathan Finster reports, Vermilion's chamber says business is good.
Most people would call Vermilion, South Dakota a small town, with its population hitting only around 10,000. However, Nate Welch, president and CEO of the Vermilion Area Chamber and Development Company, says that Vermilion is one of the fastest growing cities in the state.
Vermilion is the 4th fastest growing community in the state of South Dakota when it comes to the metro and micropolitan. We're at 1% growth, which is the 2nd fastest on the eastern side of South Dakota, second only to the metro of Sioux Falls.
If you would have came to downtown Vermilion 3 years ago, only 75% of these buildings would have been occupied. Now Welch says that 99% of them have businesses. He says the diversity between different companies is one reason why business in Vermilion is flourishing.
Everything from the Vermilion Downtown Cultural Association owning the Coyote Twin and the movie theaters downtown. You have collaborations between the Iron Rooster and the Bean, being able to start up a company down there. Of course, bars and restaurants. You have a pet care company downtown. You have shops. There really are a lot of great variations when it comes to right in downtown Vermilion.
Welch says that having a robust downtown scene creates a strong core for Vermilion.
Because what that does is it then allows us to be able to continually expand to that sprawl. And we've seen that growth over on Cherry Street, where we've got one of the banks has built up a brand new $4.5 million building, which is a beautiful bank and entrance to our community. It allowed also another entrepreneur in town to start up another coffee shop.
However, he says this strong core wouldn't be possible without the community's support.
So we have a great potential when it comes to growth in that. And for us to be able to continually support those businesses as they branch out and they look at growing, that is one of the best things about Vermilion, is that the community members really do support their local businesses.
For Coyote News, I'm Nathan Finster.
For a complete list of downtown businesses, go to the Vermilion Area Chamber and Development Company's website. Coming up, we'll tell you about the changes in USD's graduation requirements.
Yoga has a way of spilling over into other areas of your life, so lessons that we learn on the mat seem to go with us when we walk out the door. And yoga teaches us to listen to our bodies, to ask for permission, and to learn ways of healing and balancing our bodies.
This is Coyote News.
State senators are proposing a bill in reaction to the introduction of a sanctuary campus resolution by former Student Government Association Senator Josh Arns. State Senator Stace Nelson introduced SB 103, a measure that could potentially prohibit undocumented students from attending South Dakota Board of Regents schools and receiving in-state tuition and financial aid. The bill is scheduled for a public hearing before it's heard by the Senate Education Committee.
In this week's Yote Report, Coyote News' Nick Nelson reports that a recent university change could lower the amount of papers students have to write.
The university is no longer requiring students to take an intensive writing course as part of the curriculum. Writing Center Director Michelle Gannon says students needing help with the course provided an increase in attendance at the USD Writing Center.
It's very, very important for them to be writing frequently. And the more writing assignments they have, the better.
Those who work in the Writing Center feel the course should be required for students to help them succeed.
It's going to look bad on our university if students can't write. So I think ultimately it's going to benefit our students if they have professional writing skills when they go into their future career, and then it'll also look better on our university for whichever career field they're going into.
Gannon says a lack of writing requirements may discourage students from their full writing potential.
I mean, yes, we need that kind of structure, really. And it's part of what gives some oomph, some meaning to the degrees that we earn. The fact that we have stronger requirements.
Although the university as a whole no longer requires the course, individual departments may still offer the course as they see fit. For the Yote Report, I'm Nick Nelson.
And Gannon says she remains optimistic that students attend the Writing Center in the future.
During the fall semester, 2 administrators resigned from their positions in the Center for Diversity and Community. Associate Vice President for Diversity, Lamont Sellers, says that the search continues for both openings. He says he's keeping the application process open until they find replacements. Sellers is looking to fill the director's office first, then the coordinator's job. Until the positions are filled, Dr. Kim Grieve is overseeing the CDC. Located on the 2nd floor of the MUC, the CDC is a hub for students to do homework, socialize, or just relax.
Coming up, we will tell you what goes into creating the Cleary reports.
This is Coyote News.
With lots of conversation surrounding sexual assault prevention on campus last semester, some students have questioned the numbers in the annual Cleary report put out by the university. Coyote News' Rachel Newville took a closer look at how the Cleary report information is gathered and how students can use it.
With a total of 6 reported rapes from 2014 to 2016 and 9 other cases related to stalking, dating violence, and domestic violence reported within the same time frame, some students have questioned how the university gathers the Cleary report numbers. Senior Olivia Mann says the numbers just don't match up.
Generally, a lot of studies have found that around 10, 11, 12% of college students can expect to be sexually assaulted while in college. For women, that number is almost 20%. For LGBT people, that number is almost 30%. For men, it drops down to around 6%. But if you look at USD's Cleary report for 2015 to 2016, the numbers show that 0.5% of our students dealt with sexual assault during that year.
USD Associate Dean of Student Services John Howe explains compiling the Cleary report is a complex process.
How UPD, VPD, and Student Rights and Responsibilities work on compiling the data throughout the year. Howe says location plays a big role in what crimes make it into the Cleary report. Crimes have to take place on campus, and they have to be a very specific type of crime mandated by the federal law. For example, if a crime happened across Dakota Street, it would not be able to be reported in the Cleary report, even if there was an ongoing Title IX investigation.
It's a good representation of the knowledge that we have. So if there is a reported crime that is a Cleary crime, it is reported. Does it capture everything? No, because not everything is reported.
Students can find the Cleary report on the university website. For Coyote News, I'm Rachel Newville.
The Cleary report is released at the beginning of each year.
Last Friday, the USD Fine Arts Building opened their 31st annual Stillwell Student Juried Exhibition. The exhibition features artwork of all varieties, including paintings, photography, sculptures, and much more. Art Gallery Director Kate Skelly says the Stillwell exhibition received over 250 potential submissions this year.
The opening of the Stillwell is probably our most attended event every year. It's very exciting because you don't have to be a fine arts major to enter work into the exhibition. So it's open to everybody who's taking a course in the arts department. So we have people from all over the college who enter work into this exhibition.
The Stillwell exhibition will be open to the public until February 23rd in the Fine Arts Building.
A new campus sexual assault prevention program is launching tomorrow. We spoke with project coordinator Marissa Cummings to find out what's happening at the launch.
Could you please explain what iCare is? iCare is the University of South Dakota's sexual assault prevention, education, and response program. iCare is designed to center around a coordinated community response team, and that CCRT then has committees that do a lot of work within the institution as well as our surrounding partners. So we have 4 committees that do primarily most of the work. That is our Conduct and Policy Committee, our Prevention and Education Committee, our Victim Advocacy Committee, and our Law Enforcement Committee. In addition to that, we have an assessment committee that will be assessing our programs' efficacy, as well as doing different studies that'll be sent out to students. And we also have a committee that's designated specifically for programming, and there's a lot of student input and students that sit on that committee. What exactly is happening at the launch event tomorrow? So the launch event is a really exciting time. So we're trying to reframe, and this is through OVW research, right? They've decided that we need to reframe how we brand sexual assault. And so what we're doing is making it something that everyone feels that they can be a part of, is sexual assault prevention. And so it's exciting. It's going to be fun. There's going to be President Abbott will do a small address. VP Grieve will address the group, as well as the program director, who is Dr. Bridget Diamond Welch. And I'll be there as well to give a few words. We'll have free t-shirts to hand out to students with our iCare logo on it so that they can connect the program to the brand. There'll be cake, there'll be punch, Charlie will be there. So it should just be a really exciting event where everyone can come and learn more about the program and how they can get involved. Tomorrow night, there's another event. So at 7 p.m., we're really excited to team up with Coyote Athletics as well as PAVE, which is a student organization dedicated to sexual assault prevention. And we will be doing a sexual assault awareness night at the women's basketball game. So we're really excited. That'll take place at 7 o'clock. We'll be handing out, again, free t-shirts. And it's a teal out, so we encourage everyone to wear teal, and we'll be handing out teal t-shirts. They will also have free wings at halftime for students, so it's a really good bonus for students to come out and enjoy the activities that evening.
iCare will continue to run events throughout the remainder of the semester. So Lexi, the men's basketball team suffered a tough road loss.
Yes, but the women came up quite victorious in Denver this weekend, but the men came up a little bit short. We'll catch more back in next on sports.
Behind the block.
Everything goes silent.
It's just you and the water.
And just wait for the beep.
This is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the swimming and diving team had success both in and out of the classroom this week. The Coyotes basketball teams traveled to Denver for a doubleheader last weekend. But first,
The Coyotes' new women's soccer coach, Michael Thomas, added to his coaching staff Tuesday, naming Will Lemke his assistant coach. Lemke was the winningest coach in the history of Youngstown State, tallying 36 wins during his tenure there. Lemke most recently spent the 2017 season as the head coach of Briarcliff, where he led the team to their best season in 12 years. Houston Rockets point guard James Harden made NBA history last night, becoming the first player to score 60 points in a triple-double. The previous record for points scored in a triple-double was 57 by Calvin Murphy in 1978. The NFL announced Thursday Night Football will be moved to Fox Sports for the next 5 seasons after striking a deal with Fox for over $660 million. The NFL has switched networks for the weeknight game 3 times since 2014. Commissioner Roger Goodell says a deal for the digital rights for the games will also be finalized in the next few weeks.
in this week's Sport Report, Caitlin Ryan caught up with the swim team to see how they're preparing for the final 2 weeks of their season.
When most students think of the Dome, football may come to mind, but downstairs in the pool, USD's swim team is preparing for the next step of the season.
The men and women's swim team just had their last regular home meet this past Saturday, and now their focus is on the Summit League Championship. And I caught up with their head coach to figure out how they're preparing to do so.
We have kind of a pre-championship invite this weekend up in Sioux Falls. It's kind of your last final tune-up. It's an unscored meet, just a chance for the kids to get in and swim one last time before the big meet. And then the Summit League Championships, I think, are 2 weeks out here up in Sioux Falls. At this point, we're just fine-tuning a lot of things.
Even though the team is perfecting techniques, they finished the regular home season out strong with a win against rivals SDSU and Western Illinois.
We've had actually 2 really good weekends in a row. We had 2 close meets up against South Dakota State 2 weekends ago, with the men winning on the men winning and the women falling just a little bit short. And then this last weekend we had a good meet against Western Illinois here at home, our last home meet. 2 dominating wins on both the men's and the women's side there, and kids are looking good. They're ready for some rest and ready for the championship season, I think.
For the Sports Report, I'm Caitlin Ryan.
The swim team will be competing Friday and Saturday in Sioux Falls at the Coyote Invitational. The men and women's swimming and diving teams received Scholar All-American recognition by the College Swimming and Diving Coaches Association of America for the 2017 fall semester. USD represented 2 of 688 teams across 430 institutions that received the honor. The Coyote women received out of 3.4 GPA to earn Scholar All-American status for the 7th consecutive semester. Meanwhile, the men posted a 3.0 GPA and were one of 3 Summit League teams to receive the honor. While the Coyotes teams have stayed on their A game in the classroom, they also swept the Summit League Athlete of the Week awards in both track and field and swimming and diving. For the diving team, sophomore Isaac Morris and junior Sarah Shank earned Diver of the Week awards, following the Coyotes' big win over Western Illinois to finish their regular season. Both Morris and Shank claimed their award for the 5th time this season. In track and field, sophomore Chris Nielsen won his 3rd straight Athlete of the Week award, bringing his career total to 12, while junior Megan Billington earns the honor of the first time this season and the 2nd of her career. After defeating in-state rivals South Dakota State last week, both the men and women's basketball teams traveled to Denver on Saturday for a doubleheader with the Pioneers. In the first game of the day, the Coyotes women got ahead early and never looked back, cruising to an 82-60 win. JC Bradley, Allison Arns, and Kira Duffy did the heavy lifting for the Coyotes, as Bradley and Arns both had 17 points on the night, while Duffy had 16 points and grabbed 8 rebounds. Their next game will be back home tomorrow in a rubber match with Western Illinois. Later Saturday, the Coyote men took their shot at the Pioneers, but came up almost exact opposite results. The Coyotes fell behind early, 20-3, and just couldn't claw their way back. Tyler Hagedorn led the comeback effort for the Coyotes with 16 points and 7 rebounds. But despite cutting the lead down to just 9 points late in the game, the Coyotes fell to the Pioneers 84-68. The Coyotes will be back on the road tomorrow to take on Western Illinois for their next game. Now, the Coyotes News' Whitney Fowkes is in the Sanford Coyote Sports Center with women's assistant basketball coach Kayla Teslog. Whitney?
Thanks, Lexi. The Coyote women's basketball team is currently ranked #1 in the Summit League. I'm here with Kayla Teslog to talk about their ongoing success. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And so can you just talk about the key to success with their 11-game win streak?
Yeah, it's just been a really fun season. I think all over, we weren't really sure what to expect this season, and we had one of our seniors who was injured all of last season. Jasmine Trimboli has now come back for her 5th year, and she's been a tremendous impact on this team. But we've sort of blended some veteran players with some young, up-and-coming players, and it's just turned out to be a great mix. And our head coach, Coach Plitz-White, has everybody playing really hard, and it's just been a fun year so far.
How big is the ongoing so you guys are taking on Western Illinois tomorrow.
Yes.
They were the Summit League winners last season. Right. Is that kind of more pressure on you guys for this upcoming game?
Yeah, Western Illinois is a really good team. They were the Summit League champions last year, went to the NCAA tournament because of that. And they're a really challenging team for us. We've already played them once this season at their place, and we were successful in that game and won. But I really think that they're a challenging team for us. They just play a very up-tempo type of style, very offensive-minded. They shoot a ton of threes, and they score a lot of points. So defensively, we need to be ready to go. It's definitely going to be a challenge for us tomorrow night.
Okay, and you guys have some events coming up this weekend, is that correct? Can you talk a little bit about those?
We do. We have a lot going on this weekend, which is really fun. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we play at home at 7 o'clock against Western Illinois, and during that game, it will be a big event for students, and as well as we have our Coach P's Pack. young children are coming in for that game. Coach Peace Pack is a little endeavor that our team and our coaching staff has started since we've been here. It's basically eligible. Girls that are grades 3 through 8 are eligible, and basically they're a part of the pack, and our players send them pen pal letters throughout the year and really stay connected with the community that way. All those girls are welcome to come for a pizza party before the game tomorrow night and welcome the team onto the floor. So it's our way of really interacting with the community. On Saturday, we have a lot going on. First of all, we have Alumni Day, so we're inviting all the women's basketball alumni back to the Sanford Coyote Sports Center, and we're honoring the 2007-2008 team, which actually went to the Division II National Championship game, and they were the runner-up that year, and just celebrating what success they had, laying the foundation for our program, as well as our Pink Zone game on Saturday. That's really Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and so we'll be wearing pink jerseys, and there's actually an auction going on right now for our seniors' jerseys that you can actually bid online, and we'll be auctioning those jerseys off. So a lot of very cool events going on.
Okay, awesome. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
The Lady Oats take on Western Illinois tomorrow at 7 here at the Sports Center. For Coyote News, I'm Whitney Fowkes.
Coming up after the break, we'll find out how students are doing with their New Year's resolutions.
This is Coyote News.
With the start of a new year comes New Year's resolutions. We asked students what their resolution was and if they've stuck to it. Here's what they had to say.
I made 2 New Year's resolutions.
No.
One was to stop drinking soda, and the other one was to read more books this year.
I told myself I was going to do an act of kindness every day for just anyone.
No.
Like hold the door, buy someone lunch if they need it.
No.
I did not. I've tried in the past and I never really stuck to it, so I just decided not to do one this year.
Tried making one, didn't go so well. You have to get a perfect GPA this time.
Kind of. Not really, no.
If you're to live life worry-free. Faith is greater than fear.
My New Year's resolution was to do better on my homework and get it turned in faster.
No, I did not.
I was gonna go to the gym more.
I did make a New Year's resolution this year.
No, I did not.
Eat healthier, actually. Trying to focus on that diet a little bit.
Actually, one of them was to increase my GPA, really, because past couple years I've been kind of slacking off.
Honestly, no, I did not.
You know, I've basically given up on New Year's resolutions because I never keep them.
Me too. I could never stick with mine, so.
I always say I'm going to go to the gym, but that obviously hasn't happened anytime later. So, and be sure to pick up a new issue of The Volant out today, featuring a story on the progress that current SGA president and vice president have made since taking office.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And be sure to watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week on KAOR and the Coyote News social media pages.
Thank you and have a great night.